Hey y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you are on, y'all just comment, let me know you on here. If you are catching the replay, then of course hashtag replay. This is episode 12 tonight. I'm super excited about it. I'm not gonna be on here long. Hey Christina, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm not gonna be on here long at all. I always say that, but usually I stick by it. Hey Shy, how are you, boo? Thank you for watching. Um, but yeah, so tonight we are going to be talking about being the example. I hit on this on Saturday for those who were able to catch it. It was like an impromptu episode. It wasn't really even an episode. It was just some things that had been on my mind, on my heart that I decided to share because I didn't know whether or not I wanted to do a reel, whether I want to do a TikTok. So I just got on and I did a full blown live. But I'm going to get started in just a minute. Probably going to start at like 8:03, 8:04. But how have y'all been doing? Have y'all's day been good so far? I sure hope so. I had a pretty good day today myself. But yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna be on here long. For those who are tuning in, I am going to be talking about being an example and what that looks like, how it can feel, because it's different when you're on the outside looking in, and then to truly go through it yourself, being the example, can be very difficult. People think that just because you're saved, that it's not stressful or it's not hard, but that's when things hit the hardest. Hey Shay, thank you so much for watching. And thank you everybody else who is tuning in. It's the hardest when you have to be an example because it's like you can't mess up. You can mess up with God, but like in the eyes of the people, it's like you can't really make mistakes. But what I've learned is that the best way to be an example is when people do see your mistakes. People see you transitioning from who you were to who you are now becoming. A lot of times people think that church people are just so perfect, and we're not. We get tried the same way that everybody else does. Jesus was tried with the same temptations that we dealt with. That's how he can be empathetic and sympathetic towards us, because he knows the weight of what we go through being human. He knows the weight of what it's like to, go through life and be tried by different things, and to stand in the face of adversity and decide whether or not you're going to be the example or whether you're going to be just like everyone else. And my word for this year, when Evangelist Latrice Ryan came to my church, well, not my church, but to a conference that my pastor had, was that it's heavy, but you can handle it. And I've been standing on that all year. And I just wanted to encourage someone else that even though what you're going through may be heavy, even though being an example to other people may be heavy, you can handle it. If you couldn't handle it, God would have never given it to you so that you could carry it. But tonight, again, like I said, we're going to be talking about being an example, what that looks like, what that feels like. So for me, I'm young, I'm 25. For those who don't know. So usually people around my age, they clubbing, they doing whatever they want to do, they drinking all the time. And I had a season of my life where I was doing the same things all the time. And then like it just got real uncomfortable for me. I no longer was comfortable clubbing. I didn't want to club no more. And it got to a point where it's like now everybody around me who was in my circle at the time, they still clubbing, they still can do whatever it is they want to do. But it's like I felt the pull like to transition from that space to, focus more on my relationship with God and really spend time to get to know who he is. And by me spending time there, working on my relationship with God, I was able to find out more of who I am, and I'm still coming into the knowledge of both. But just to see me transition, just the fact that I can say no, that shows growth right there. That's me being an example, because the people who knew me closest before, it's like Jahara was a yes man. Like Jahara go along with everything that we say we want to do. Even if she don't want to do it, she'll still be there because, she want to keep the connection or the bond or whatever the case may be. She want to be non-confrontational, and I'm still a non-confrontational individual, but my no means no. Now the Bible says let your yay be yay and your nay be nay. So I'm good at doing that now. I'm good at, being able to stand on my own and saying, hey, I don't want to do this. This no longer serves me. I'm not feeling this. This doesn't benefit me any. And really creating boundaries for myself and for anyone who's transitioning from a place of, wanting the validation from other people or wanting to be a people pleaser, and now you're transitioning to it. No, that's a hard season to be in, where you have to deal with the opinions of others or deal with the backlash or have to hear what it is that other people have to say in regards to what you choose to do and what you want to do, because they're so used to you being a certain way. And then what I've also learned is you have to be careful when you do transition to trying to live for God for real. And when you're truly walking into that lifestyle of being an example to other people, you have to be careful not to be too familiar with people. Because I just saw somebody, being transparent, I just saw somebody at where was I? I think I was at Mad Rat the other day. And usually every time I see her, she got something smart to say. So, my initial reaction is always, shoot a bird being funny or whatever the case may be. But I had to remind myself, Jahara, you can't be talking about God on Monday and on Sunday, talking about that's your favorite day of the week. And then you over here flipping people off or saying stuff you ought not to say just because that's something that you used to do. And you have to be so careful, because not that she just intentionally did something to get a reaction out of me, but I had to retrain my mindset that I could no longer do that. Even though it may have been funny then, find something else that's funny now. Just because you used to go about doing something one way before, you have to realize what season you're in and what position you hold in people's lives. So say for instance, she didn't really just know me for real, and it's like it was just a viewer or something like that who doesn't know me personally, and I had have done that, or someone else could have seen it and been like, oh, this is the same person who be talking about God. I'm not finna listen to nothing that come out her mouth, because she over here cussing and flipping birds, and she over here like it's funny, like it's cool. I thought Christians don't do that. It's just be the simplest things that'll trip you up with people. And even though your heart and your intentions are pure, I'm telling you, Sha, it is tempting and it's hard to transition out of. One thing I told God, I was telling my sister this earlier today. I told God, like, this year I don't want to cuss no more, because I'm quick to say anything, whether I'm in traffic and folks moving slow. And it's so funny because Christina and Pastor, they find different words to say where everybody else will cuss. They find something else to say. It don't even have to make sense. They're just like, Pastor should be like, what the ham sandwich? I'd be like, huh? Where you get that from? And the other word would have slipped right on out my mouth real fast. But you just have to train yourself, because I do truly want to be, I don't want to be one of those Christians who say they saved on paper, and then when it comes to my lifestyle, when you look at my everyday life, and then I'm tripping, I'm not looking nothing like God. I want God to be reflected in me and through me at all times. So I have to be mindful and I have to be careful not to say and do certain things. So even in a situation where I may be irritated or somebody's making me mad, I can't go off the handle. Even if you calling me everything but a child of God, and you fussing, you cussing, you doing everything you want to do, you showing your tail, I can't do that. I can't respond that way, because even though we're not cool right now and you saying whatever it is that you got to say later on down the line, you'll remember how I handled you in that moment. You'll remember, okay, maybe Jahara is saved for real. Maybe she is, really trying to live right, because she really could have cussed me out. And there was a time I remember where she would have cussed me out and talked about me like a dog, but she didn't do that. So it must be something. Something must be happening at that church she go to. She really must be praying, that her prayers really must be getting through when she talk to God, because she's not acting how I'm acting. She's not acting how a normal person would respond in this very moment. So you just have to be careful in all instances. You have to have your spiritual eyes on, your spiritual hat on at all times, so that you can work and actively being an example to other people. And that's hard sometimes. That's hard a lot of times. I was talking to my other sister last night, her and her husband, and I was like, baby, God, the real Suge Knight, welcome to death row, because you got to crucify your flesh daily. Every single day. It's something that I want to do that I can't, not even that I'm just trying to sin, but it just be simple stuff. Like, I want to respond how everybody else responds. It's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when I do. It's going to be seen as a problem. It's going to seem as me being hypocritical, because I have this standard of she represents God. So everywhere I go, I carry that. And that doesn't make me better than the next person who's not trying to do it, or who's not actively doing it on a regular basis. But even to, my peers, even to my Christian peers, because we experience low seasons. Hey sis, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. We experience low seasons even as Christians. And if I am doing something, if I'm going through a season where I'm down and I'm depressed, I can't show that because I don't know what it is that you're going through, but I'm the example to you of how to walk through that. I'm the example of how not to, let what I'm going through show on my face. Or when I walk in the room, I don't have to look like I'm depressed or I'm going through hard times or my money funny. I don't have to look like that. I don't. I was talking to TJ one day, and she said, "Jahara, I thought you was a kept woman. I thought you didn't work just for fun. I just thought you had it all together because you be having clothes on and earrings. You be looking good. You be having your wigs on." I was like, TJ, I am a mess. Baby, I'm a mess, but it's the grace of God that covered me while I was in the middle of going through what I was going through. So it's so much so as to say that when I walk in the room, you don't know that something is wrong with me. Only the people closest to me who can cover me in prayer and really see me at my lowest state and handle that and not get it misconstrued that, oh, well, God must not be working for real. God must not answer prayers. When God gonna come through for me? Because Jahara says she lived for God, and I see her actively get on here and talk about the man. Is she going through something? Well, I can't believe in that kind of God then. That don't make sense. But you have to know who, you can talk to in those moments. You have to know the people who are divinely assigned to your life to help you get through those hard seasons so that when and then another thing too, it's so important to know that birds of a feather truly do flock together. So you have to know the people. I don't want to be around everybody who is on the level that I am spiritually. I want to be around people who are higher than me. I want you to see more than me. You got dreams and visions and all that. I need to be around you. That's the kind of atmosphere I need to surround myself with because you are further than me. So that means that eventually, the more I spend time around you, that's the place I'm going to get to. But if I'm just around everybody who is, we 1 foot in, we 1 foot out, we being lukewarm, not to say that I am, but I'm saying if I'm in a lukewarm environment, how can I ever get hot or cold? If I don't surround myself with the right people so that I can grow spiritually and I can be a better example to the people who are lukewarm and straddling the fence and who haven't picked a side. It's difficult. I know I shared on Saturday and I was talking to someone today. I said, during the whole girl boss season, it's like we had event after event after event. And transparently, I ain't have to go. I ain't have y'all. Jesus Christ. I love y'all so much. If y'all tuning in, y'all had so much stuff going on, but it's like I can't, either I couldn't go or it was at a club setting. And I can't sit on here for 12 episodes saying, oh, I don't club no more. I don't club no more. I don't do that no more. I used to be in the season of clubbing and now I don't go. And now every time y'all see me, I'm at a club. That's me going against what I said. And just if I'm going to push God, then I have to push it. And sometimes that means you don't make the connections that you want to make or that you feel that you should make. And for me, it was like, because I was blessed with an opportunity to have a speaking engagement. I think that was in March. So the person who spearheaded the event was also a part of the person who was spearheading the Girl Boss Awards. So I felt as though, this is where all my connections are going to come from. And I don't ever want them to feel as though, oh, Jahara says she can't hang with us, because that's not my mentality. That wasn't my thought process. But it's the simple fact that I have to know where I can go and where I can't go. And I know for me personally, I can't club no more. That's just not something that I do anymore. And then even when it comes to drinking, because I know I shared before, like, baby, one thing about it, I used to drink so I could sleep when I was going through it real bad. But you got to think about it like this. If that's how I go through it and get stuff through, then God isn't the one that I'm leaning on to pull me up out of my situation. Alcohol is. Crown is, tequila is, whatever I'm drinking at the time, that's what I'm using as a vice to deliver me from my problem. And it's not even true deliverance, because I still feel the weight of it the next day. And I have to buy something else to appease how I'm feeling. But the Bible says that when you drink this water, you'll never thirst again. So I don't have to go back to the store and buy something. When I tap in with God, I get everything that I need. You want to boss up your life? All you got to do is get in with him. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. You won't feel that no more. You won't feel the weight of it. And even when you feel it, the impact won't be, hey Jess, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. The impact won't be as heavy as it used to be before, where it felt just so unbearable. You'll be able to walk through seasons and you'll feel unscathed. You know how you ever wake up, you be like, where did scratch come from? I remember doing that. How I do that to myself? I just be doing stuff. So you'll have the scar from it. You'll know that it happened. You'll know that you went through it, but you also know that deliverance came and you didn't even feel it. You didn't even feel it because you got in with God, and because he really does give peace that surpasses all understanding. Out of all the names of God, I think Jehovah Shalom might be one of my favorite ones because I need that peace. Sometimes I be tripping and I just feel like I can't make it through. And when I was going through the worst time of my life, I just felt as though I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't want to go to work. I done lost my job because I just couldn't function. I could not function. Everybody was like, however life goes on, you still got to figure out how to, get through life for you and your daughter. I wasn't trying to hear none of that. It's like it went through one ear and out the other because I didn't have that peace to know that I could make it. I'm hearing the word every Sunday, but I was so broke down. I was so hurt. It's like, and I had examples set in place. God is so strategic, y'all. It's just so far to me. Like I had an example of what walking through my situation looked like. And as you are going along your journeys in life, your Christian walk with God, no matter if you just get saved tonight or if you've been saved for 20 years, God will always send an example of where he's taking you to and what healing and deliverance looks like. And that's way when you have that example and you finally allow God to heal you, you don't turn to the other things that you used to turn to anymore. And now you're allowing God to step in and do what he wants to do in and through you. Now you can be the example to help pull somebody else out. Now you get to be the example. You get to be the person that you needed or the person that you had so that somebody else can be free too. And that's what it's all about. It doesn't always feel good, but God will set the stage just so that people can see you go through the worst part of your life. And now they get to see you transform your life around with him and through him with his power to get you on the other side of that thing. You get to be the light and the example and the hope that, you know what, I don't have to go through this. Jahira went through this, or Jalecia went through this, or Jessica and Shy went through this, Shay, Christina went through this, and they fine. They fine now. It wasn't always hard. And I saw, a little bit. I saw a little bit of what they went through, and I know that probably would have killed me. I couldn't handle that. But because we get to be that example for you, now we encourage somebody else. Hey, Bree, thank you so much for watching. But being an example, especially at a young age, it doesn't feel good because you feel as though you missed out on a whole lot of stuff. But I'm at the place now, especially in my relationship with God, where it's no longer just lip service. And now it's like, I would much rather, thank you. I have so much rather be locked in with God than locked in with people who mean me no good or people who can't go where I'm going or who aren't willing to change right now. And you can't let that discourage you either. And then also you have to be an example even in your season of separation. Even in your season of loneliness, when God isolates you, you have to be the example that I don't have to throw salt on you. I don't have to make subliminal posts on Facebook. I don't have to speak ill will towards you. I can still uplift you in prayer. And you've done me so wrong. You broke me. You hurt me to my core. And you said whatever you had to say to me or about me to other people. But me being the example, me being Christ-like, I'm still going to love on you. I'm still going to encourage and uplift you wherever I can. I'm still going to have my boundaries because I'm never going to put myself in a position where, you can just attack me or hurt me with your words the way you did before. But even if I'm in a position where it catches me off guard, the way I respond, my response is no longer the same because I know I have to be the example. So now the Bible says, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. So what that means is that you don't even like me for real, but you keep on watching my live. You don't even like me for real, but something make you talk to me. Something make you wave at me when otherwise you would have just acted like I wasn't in the room. I'm not just speaking about me. I'm just speaking about everyone that's on here. You have people that are watching you. People who you are at odds with that still look to you as a light, as encouragement, because that's how big God is on the inside of you. Even when we don't see it, even when we feel like we've just messed up so bad, we ain't messed up that bad. People still see the God in us. That's something that'll never go away. That's a lifetime warranty that we have. We are covered wherever we go, and they always gonna see it. They can't help but to see it in the small things that you do. You don't have to be Jesus, this 24/7, but they see it. They see it in the way you respond. That's the part I'm working on. I know I'm coming because the old me would have been going crazy when people be talking. Facts, Shy. Facts. And that's all that you can do is just continue to work on it. I just like to encourage you or anybody else who's watching, don't give up working on it, because your breakthrough could be right around the corner. And a lot of times it is. And a lot of times when we keep on going through tests, it's because we either couldn't have passed it or you can pass it better. Have you ever taken like an assessment or a test at work or in school where it's like you pass, but you could get a higher score on it? And sometimes that's what God does for us. Sometimes it's like, you got an 80. You needed an 80 to pass, but I want to see you get to 100%. I want to see you get to 100%, because that means now you got every part of this situation together. Now you have every part of this test right. You're not missing two things. So now you're not missing patience or kindness on this test. You missed it the last time. You were so close, but you chose violence instead. You chose to cuss instead. You chose to go off instead. But now this time, when I take you through the next test, when you place in that same position, now I want you to get 100 on it. And now we can move on to the next thing. And we're constantly growing and evolving, because a lot of times we choose things for ourselves that were never a part of the plan. We choose things for ourselves that were never meant to be in God's will for our lives. And it derails us, it throws us off. And now we have to learn all these hard lessons when we probably could have been on level 32, but we still stuck on level 17. But it's fine. We learn the lessons and we move on. And by you learning your lesson, and especially the best lessons, I saw something today. It was a group of teenage guys, and they were talking about being in church and how they wanted people to be an actual example. Don't just tell me about something. Everybody can talk about something as a topic, but when you actually go through something, it hit different. That's how you pull somebody else up out the streets, or out of a divorce, or out of domestic violence, or whatever the case may be. When you've been through it yourself, I get to tell you how to walk through it. I get to tell you exactly how God brought me out of this situation and how he can do the exact same for you. And my process might not be exactly your process, but just the fact to know that God's keeping power will keep you in the midst of whatever it is that you're going through. At your lowest moment, he can keep you. He's the keeper. I've seen it for myself. I have seen it for myself. That's how I can get on here and tell you, because I'm not going to talk about nothing I ain't delivered from. I ain't going to talk about nothing that God ain't never did for me, because I feel like that's fake. I don't like that. If God didn't say it, I don't like to say it. And another thing about being an example, people will know that, you know, you have a gift or whatever the case may be, or they will know that you represent God, and they'll try to pull on that. But if that's something that you ain't all the way out of yet, you don't speak on it, because now you're inviting unnecessary warfare, or you're setting the stage for failure, because you're not all the way delivered from that yet, or you're not active in that yet. I remember one time I was talking to this guy, and I wanted to have something to say. Like, it was true, but I wasn't active in it yet. So I was like, he was somebody from church, and I was like, I'm a prophet, right? That's what God's will is for my life. But it's like, that's like me saying to somebody, I'm a lawyer, right? I don't practice law. I ain't even been to school. Even if that's a word that I got years ago, I'm not active in it. I can't try your case. I can't tell you nothing about what you should do, what legal routes you should go. I can't do that because I'm not active in it yet. I haven't perfected the gift that I need to have yet. So I'm saying this, and I'm still struggling and sinning every other day. And I'm sinning every other day. And I'm sitting here telling you about, because sometimes we get so excited about the deliverance that's taking place in our lives, and we try to pull people up while we're still going through, and we don't even realize we got a whole final exam around the corner that we really ain't studying for. We really ain't even studying for it. We're not in our word. We're not praying to fix our situation and certain things about ourselves so that we can be a better example. We can pass the test so that we can be a full-fledged example to people and fully walk them through that process. Because I can't help you through something. Say, for instance, I'm a teacher. I can't teach you about something and help you get your degree if I'm still in school. Because I didn't finish. I don't know everything that I need to know yet to be able to help you and train you and build a curriculum that's right for you. I might be good in this one area, this one class, but if I haven't fully taken everything I need to take, now I'm missing something, and that'll stunt your growth. And now, while you may be fine with love and patience, you're not fine with forgiveness. You're not fine with keeping your mouth closed and not speaking, when people are going at you. You're not good at that because I didn't perfect that yet. So I can't fully walk you through that. While I'm trying to help you, I can help you in certain ways. I can lead you to God. My sister told me today, because we were talking about evangelism, because that's been the one of the themes of our church for this month, especially after yesterday. And I was telling her, I said, but what's going to win souls? Like, I want to get people saved. I want to have evidence of people being saved. Like, what's the strategy for that? And then she reminded me that some people sow a seed, some people water the seed, and then God brings the increase. So you may not always see the manifestation of what you've poured into people. I don't know who all watches my videos after the fact when I'm not on live. Even when I'm on live, I don't always see unless somebody comments who views it. But I don't know how what I say has poured into someone else, and who may come along, or what video they may see after me that waters the seed that I planted. And now God's going to bring the final increase, and he may bring the increase within a week, within an hour, within the next year or so. I don't know, but God knows. My reward is in heaven. I just have to continue in my assignment and do what it is that God has led and called me to do, which is get on this podcast and say what it is that he has said for you all to hear. And that's my job. That's all I can be concerned with. So I used to get mad when I wanted friends of mine to come to church with me. I'm like, I know you need to go. I know you need to go. I know if you just come to church, you'll be fine. Like, everything will be fine. He did it for me. He did it for me. But I'm sowing the seed, right? And then somebody else will come along and water it, and it may hit different. I might have been talking about going to church since 2012, and you finally go in 2042. But I planted the seed. Someone else came along and watered it, and God finally brought the increase. God finally brought you into the house of God so you can get what it is that you need. There's only so much pushing that we can do. But as long as you are pushing, as long as you are trying to actively be an example, you can't be weary and well doing. If you know that you're doing well, you're telling people, hey, come to my church. Hey, even if you don't go to my church, this is a great ministry over here. Hey, you need me to pray for you? So how do you feel about this? Like, what are your true feelings? Whatever capacity that you can be an example of God's goodness and God's love, whether you just smile at somebody. I made a post the other day about how it really grinds my gears when don't nobody throw up that complimentary hand or nod their head when I let them through in traffic. But just by me doing that and me holding my head for a little bit longer and smiling, that could have been the highlight of somebody's day. But I don't know that. But you never know how you're going to influence people. What areas are you prominent in? What do you do on your day-to-day life? Who do you encounter? Who comes and talks to you and tells you all their business and you ain't even asked for that? You was just trying to do your job. Or you was just trying to get something from the store and go get back in the car and go home. How can you be an example on a every day-to-day basis? Whether it's a smile, whether it's a kind word, whether it's handling people who have mishandled you with love and compassion. That shows people that God is real. When you don't react the way that they do, that's how you set the standard. That's how you differentiate you walking with God and you not. Because it's one thing to say that you saved. But it's a whole nother thing to live it. And that's a process. That is a process. You're not going to get it right every day. And that's another thing. I want to debunk the stigma that you're going to get stuff right 24/7, that Christianity looks a certain way, because it does not. It looks different for everybody. What I've been battling with for years, you may not have been battling with that. I've battled with rejection. You may not have battled with that. You may have had the perfect life. Everybody just clung to you, loved you, and whatever the case may be. Your biological parents raised you, all that good stuff. Your friend groups were tight. Y'all been friends since elementary school, and y'all still rock and go on trips every month. I mean, not every month, but every year. But everybody's testimony is different. Or you could have just went through domestic violence, but that's not my testimony. That's yours. So your healing and deliverance from that will look different from mine. It all looks different what we go through. Our situations, our stories are so different, but then there are some similarities within all of us, some general lessons that we have. But Christianity doesn't just look a certain way starting out. You mess up. People who've been saved longer than me, people who've been saved 40, 50 years, you still have tests and trials that you're going to endure, that you're going to go through. And it looks different for everybody. Finally learning that lesson, finally letting God handle stuff, especially if you're a person like myself where you try to handle stuff on your own. I have tried to fix everything within my power. I will bargain. I try to bargain with God. God, if you just do this right here, I know you got it, but you got the whole world to worry about. Don't worry about me. I got this. I got this. Cool. I'm good, love, and joy. Let me do it. Let me fix it. Let me do it. And he won't allow me to. And before, it used to make me angry. Before, I used to get so mad because I could not understand. But now I found a way to be thankful right in the same breath. So yeah, I might have my moments where it's like, God, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this. This was never the plan. I don't want this. I want you to fix it right now. Today. Thanks. Love, Jahira. Amen. Now I'll pray to you again after I see some manifestation. If you're fixing it, thank you. But that ain't how God works. And once you fully understand the fact that some stuff that you go through is just a result of disobedience. And it's not that you're a bad person. Sometimes we just get it wrong. Sometimes we choose relationships that we think is for us, and you unequally yoked. They a boiled egg and you scrambled with cheese. You a whole omelet. And they still sitting in the carton with the other eggs in the refrigerator. Unequally yoked. A mix. Sometimes we choose jobs that wasn't for us. We think this is just going to be the best job in the world. We think we finna be, I use Howard's Boutique as an example. I got the job, I'm not the job, but I started out in that role of entrepreneurship thinking that, it was easy, thinking I could do it. I wasted so much money. Thousands of dollars. Good God Almighty. I had to repent so many times, even though he heard me and forgave me the first time. But baby, I had to apologize to myself for messing up the blessing, the financial blessing that God had given me at the time, doing something that he never told me to do. That man never told me to go sell nobody no clothes. He didn't. And I appreciate every customer on here who done shopped with me. God bless you, your heart. He never told me to do that though. So sometimes when we miss out, when we don't have certain things, it's because we mishandled what we did have. Now I try so hard to be a good steward now. If I go out to eat and, usually I'm so bad with like eating my leftovers. Like I'll just throw it away or it'll sit in the refrigerator forever. You might get mold on it. Don't judge me. Because I don't go back and eat it. But now, like even with the small things, I try so hard now. If I go out to eat, and I might be full, but I'm gonna eat this last fry because God, I spent money. I should have cooked at home, but since I did spend the money on this food, I just want to let you to know that I didn't buy extra food that I ain't gonna eat. I wasn't being gluttonous, but I'm gonna eat what I said I was gonna spend money on since I didn't go home and cook like I should have. God, you see me being a good steward. You see that, right? Thank you. So now you can go ahead and send some thousands and hundred thousands of dollars my way because I'm being a good steward over the small stuff. And that's another example of being a good example. Like just this weekend, I had the option of going to the strawberry patch with Jalea and Shay and them with their kids. And I really, really wanted to go, y'all. Like I had it made up in my mind that I was going to go like a month or so ago. And then Pastor had girl chat. And I think I was supposed to help Candace with a vending event. But then I also, at the time when I committed a yes to these obligations, I didn't have a promotion yet on my job, so to where I work on Saturdays now. So I had war with that thing. I was like, I can. He said, if ever I can't work a day, just let him know. But I was like, that's not wisdom. I prayed, I asked God for more money. I prayed, I asked God for to be a better steward, to have wisdom. And I said, I'm being a good steward now. And then God will try you at your word. He'll try the stuff that comes out of your mouth. If you give God a yes and you say you're gonna do something, you better be sure that He's gonna try you at exactly what you say. So I was like, Christina, what you think I should do? Should I go? Because I hear Pastor talk all the time, and other people probably need her, right? And then I told Candace I was gonna go, and then I want to make memories with my baby. This, that, and the third. And it's like, Jahaira, you need to go to work. You need to go to work. It's that simple. You gotta pay rent. This is gonna be the first of the month. It's the first of the month. And yeah, you got bills. So you gotta be an adult. And you can make memories with Jalea whenever. You can chill with your homegirls whenever. There will be another girl chat, and we just pray that God allows you to go. But right now, in this moment, you need to utilize wisdom and go. And the people who know me best know that before, I ain't care nothing about that. I call out of work so fast. Baby, I ain't going. I'm going to go do this. But wisdom says, the change in me says, me being an example of saying, you know what? I understand y'all have other stuff y'all want to do. But if y'all know like I know, you need to pay bills. You need to be wise with your money. You need to be a good steward with your finances. And then also too, there was a time where I just spend, and then when it's time, because I believe in tithing, on Sundays where it's time to tithe, I'm looking at God, He looking at me, and I'm like, gee, can we work out a payment plan? Because I just got this, and I know I shouldn't have spent that money. I know I shouldn't have, but I did. So you understand. But it's like, no, you should never did that. You knew you had the tithe. You knew how much your tithe was gonna be when your check dropped. How you knew that. Don't be trying to rob God because you done robbed yourself of the little nest egg you could have had. You was a bad steward. So that's on you. But you don't not give God what He's due. And you don't short your bills because you would have spent so much money where you shouldn't have spent it at. And that's something I had to learn. And now I can be an example to other people of what that looks like. Because I used to do that. I used to be careless with money. I used to feel like, I messed up a check, get it right back. Until there were times where I didn't get it right back. And I was hurting. And I had to beg and I had to pray to God. God, if you God, please. Please, my money is funnier than Def Comedy Jam. Jesus, please. Please fix it. Fix it right now. I'm poor. And I know life and death is in the power of the tongue, but God, you say I'm poor. Fix it. And He finally did. So now it's my job to be a good steward over what He's given me. But I'm just glad that I get to be an example. Baby, Jalea, I can't make this up. I can't make this. It was so bad. It was so bad. Like, broke as the funniest joke you'd have ever heard. My God. Like, these last $2, if I was a song, that would have been my song. These last $2. Or I need $1. $1 is what I need. But I'm happy I went through those seasons, those hard seasons, so that I can be an example. And even though I may be going through some right now, by the time God brings me out, I know I'll be well equipped to help bring somebody else out of their hard seasons and their hard places. And that encourages me to keep pushing and keep going. Then there might be that. You can't speak that. Don't speak that. You got it. You got it. Because your father's rich in houses and lands. And daddy like to spend that check on his children. He does. He does. We just got to be good stewards when He gives us that allowance. But I thank each and every last one of y'all for watching on tonight. I hope that by me being an example, by coming on here, I have encouraged you all to show up in whatever capacity, whether it be at home, at your job, wherever it may be, in the grocery store, and be that example to someone else. Your example is exactly what someone else needs. I got it in Jesus. Amen. I'm standing in agreement with that. But I pray that what I said was of encouragement to you all, and that there's something in here that I said that you all can apply even today and throughout the week. I love y'all so much, and I'm grateful God allowed us to come meet together one more time for episode 12 of the Book I Won't Write podcast. So I love y'all, and I will see y'all on Monday.